At least 7 Israelis were killed Friday night in a shooting outside a synagogue in East Jerusalem. Israeli police said the gunman waited until people left their Shabbat prayers to fire on them. The gunman was killed at the scene. The U.S. State Department strongly condemned what it called an apparent terrorist attack. At a briefing held just after news of the attack broke, Deputy Department spokesperson Vedant Patel said that it was absolutely horrific and that the U.S. commitment to Israel's security remains ironclad. Patel said Secretary of State Antony Blinken's plans to visit Egypt, Israel, and the West Bank Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday have not changed. Palestinians protested earlier Friday in Jerusalem and Thursday at the site of an Israeli raid that day on the Jenin refugee camp in the West Bank. Palestinian officials say at least 9 people were killed, including a 61-year-old woman. Israel's military released this footage from soldiers' helmet cameras, saying its forces targeted members of the Islamic Jihad terrorist group, who it says were involved in planning and carrying out attacks against Israelis. The spokesperson for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called the raid a massacre and declared 3 days of mourning. He had this to say.
In light of the repeated aggression against our people and the flouting of signed agreements, including security ones, we consider that security coordination with the Israeli occupation government no longer exists as of now.
During his Mideast trip, Blinken will talk to Palestinian, Israeli, and Egyptian officials on issues including the protection of human rights and democratic values. But the escalating violence may overshadow his visit. On Friday, Israel launched rockets at the Gaza Strip in response to Palestinian militants' fire. Some observers, such as Brian Katulis of the Middle East Institute, had already been concerned about the inclusion of far-right ministers in Israel's new coalition government under returning Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But the violence, he says, adds a layer of complexity.
This presents even further complications to a situation that was already complicated with this new Israeli government and concerns about some of the more extremist voices in that government and what they might do to unsettle the not just the Palestinian situation, but the broader region.
Katulis said another major issue for Blinken's trip will be Iran, the stalled nuclear deal, and the U.S. response to ongoing protests for women's rights and against the brutality of the Tehran government. Cindy Saine, VOA News.